Hello, what's going on guys? Welcome to another brand new video of Gaming Truth channel. So guys, into this video, I'm gonna check the 15 weirdest things you can actually do in Red Dead Redemption 2. So guys, thank you for watching. Don't forget to drop a like and comment, and if you enjoyed the video, you can subscribe to my channel, and you can also turn on notification of my channel, and when I upload a new video you can get the notifications. Without further ado, let's start the video. So guys, let's check 15 weirdest things that you can actually do in Red Dead Redemption 2. Number 15. Encounter the Strange Man. Players of 2010's Red Dead Redemption will remember the Strange Man who would cross paths with players every so often. However, in the second game, it's a different experience. Players will make their way to Lemon View West, where they'll stumble upon a shack. Upon entering it, players will see some eerie things, references to the Strange Man. The creepiest part is a large painting in the middle of the main room, which appears to be the Strange Man. Every time the player returns to the shack, the painting grows clear until it finally reveals itself to be the Strange Man. Players can't engage with him, but by looking into a mirror in front of the painting, the Strange Man will be standing right behind the player. However, he's only present only in the mirror. Number 14. Find the locked up Great Raid Girl. Heading south in roads towards the Great Raid Manor, players will spy out a house with a moon on the door. Players can look inside and they'll see an arm reach out, belonging to the locked up Great Raid Girl. If the player looks at it from the right angle and zooms in, they can guess why she's locked up. Apparently she's disfigured. Later players will meet Penelope Braithwaite, who explains that the locked-up girl is her cousin and what happened to her. Upon returning to the area during epilogue, players will see what happened to her, thanks to what happened to the Braithwaites. Number 13. Get attacked by a vampire. If UFOs weren't enough, vampires will show players how outlandish Red Dead Redemption 2 can be. Located in one of the hubs of the world, St. Denis, players will need to go out of their way to trigger the Piper event. The game doesn't give much of an indicator as to how to find the vampire, but for those curious enough, it will be rewarding. First, if players can find strange writing on city walls after midnight, they will be directed to go down an alleyway in the city and will witness the Prince of Darkness himself with his latest victim. He will get up once the player gets close and will try to attack them. Number 12. Find the mission Creature. Strange animals are plentiful in Red Dead Redemption 2, however this one is an interesting and creepy find. If players head down to West Horn, they'll come upon a house that looks like a laboratory of sorts. Once the player is interned, they'll find a hole with a long table and a creature at the end. This isn't any normal creature. In fact, it looks like it's been put together by someone. It has a pig's head, wings, and several limbs. Although the creature doesn't do anything, it can make the player's skin crawl, especially if they aren't expecting to encounter it. Number 11. Clear out the Night People. While Red Dead Redemption 2 doesn't feature zombies like the first game, the Night People are even more terrifying. Heading to Bayard and W.A. Lacos Swap at night, players will come across the Night People, soon presidents they will take inside. When the player interacts with the Night People for the first time, it will start a quest to help an old man clear the swamp of these hostile folks. The player will be rewarded after completing the quest with a gold tooth, a rare animal bolt, and a dagger. Number 10. Close encounters of the first kind. For players who wish they had a little more aliens with their cowboys, look no further than 2 Easter eggs can be encountered in Red Dead Redemption 2. The first takes place at Hanni's Bethel in the Heartlands and the second at Mount Shan in the Big Valley, West Elizabeth. If a player climbs to the peak of Mount Shan anytime between midnight and 4 a.m., they will eventually see a small craft descend and hover in the sky for about half a minute before departing. Honey's battle, on the other hand, can only be experienced in an abandoned schoolhouse where Colt appears to have committed mass suicide. If a player is there at 2 a.m., they will be enveloped in a green light from a larger UFO directly above them before it appears. Number 9. To speak amongst giants. In Big Valley, West Elizabeth, players can come across the skeleton of a large humanoid that has been dead for an indeterminate amount of time. It's far from the only strange skeleton that can be encountered, but what makes this instance special is that a living specimen can be somewhat interacted with. If a player journeys to a marino near Farewell Shanty, Birdsong will guide them to a cave with a boulder blocking the entrance. If approached, a deep voice greets the player and discusses how lonely it is. It chooses to stay in the cave though because it doesn't want to scare anyone due to its imposing size. It's assumed that this being in self-imposed exile is the same species as the giant skeleton mentioned before. Number 8. Rush No More. In the wild days of the Old West, it wasn't unusual to stumble upon the occasional random death. Many things were dangerous in those days, even without a human element, and the Red Dead series does a great job of showing this. One such death the character can come upon is a case of suicide by hanging upon some scaffolding that leads up to the curved face of a woman. Some investigating reveals that the carving was the love of the dead man, but as he carved her, he fell out of love with her. This personal tragedy was so great to him that he killed himself in grief. Number 7. Cowboys vs. Vikings. Cowboys and archaeology are not necessarily an image that most people associate with no another, but Red Dead Redemption 2 does allow players to perform a little archaeology of their own by allowing them to explore some ancient sites. One of the most significant and shocking sites is an ancient Viking burial ground located in Roanoke Ridge, New Hanover. While there is evidence that Vikings visited North America before Columbus era explorers ever did, there has never been substantial evidence that they ever got as far south as Red Dead Redemption 2's settings. With some careful searching, players can obtain a wearable Viking helmet, a Viking hatchet, and even a Viking comb. Number 6. Red Dead Ghost Hunters. Ghost hunting is an activity that is completely possible to purpose in Red Dead Redemption 2. There are at least 2 investigation threads to follow, with one being much more subtensional than the other. The less subtensional route can be heard and not seen in Running Valley at night. While the player is walking around, they can hear 2 sprites whispering conversations amongst themselves, but no apparitions will be seen. The other case involves the ghost of Agnes Good in Blue Water Marsh. She will appear a total of 16 times, each time reliving her tragic past. On the last interaction, she will call out to the player and bring them to a lockbox near where she found herself. Number 5. Lions, tigers, and zebras? Oh my god. Hunting is, of course, one of the mainline activities players can pursue on the side in Red Dead Redemption 2. But on the surface, most would assume that the game native to North America would generally be the Kuchigan. And they would be right, but in one stranger mission, players get the opportunity to wrangle off some exotic circus animals that have gotten loose. These include the zebra, a tiger, and a lion. As it turns out, though, the zebra is just a painted horse and the tiger is a painted mountain lion. However, at the very end, the lion is the only animal that turns out to truly be what it is and players, unfortunately, have to put it down before it kills them and other nearby NPCs. Number 4. The Cave Devil. Far on the western edge of the map, in West Elizabeth, there's a hermit living alone in a cave. He seems to loathe humanity and claims to be the devil himself. He later admits that he's not, but it becomes clear the more he talks that humanity has dealt him a bad hand, so he truly wants nothing more than to be alone. Besides the mysterious man who eventually greets John Marston later on in Red Dead Redemption, there's no all-announced sentient for the devil himself within the series, although if this hermit really is the devil, as a poor excuse for one. Number 3. The Poor Donkey Lady. Some scenes that can be encountered in Red Dead Redemption 2 are sadder than they are frightening. Such is the case of Donkey Lady in Cola Springs. The corpse of the creature can be found attached to a mill where it seemingly died from being overlooked. Now most people would believe this is simply a practical joke where someone placed the head of a donkey upon the corpse of a woman and set her up in this fiction. But given the way Arthur Morgan and or John Marston react to the sight, they seem to genuinely believe it was once a living creature. So who truly knows? Number 2. Wanted. Time Travel's Assistant. By far one of the strangest tasks, when the right amount of will is put into it, is when the player helps a man known as Francis Sinclair. The man is dressed differently from most people encountered and speaks with a transatlantic accent that would not be very prevalent for a few years yet to come. The man asks the player to help find rocks, carvings, and when added, he can be returned to only to find a woman with a baby. The woman turns out to be Francis' mother, and the baby she holds birth is striking a resemblance to him, particularly due to their shared birthmark over the right eye. This whole scene heavily implies that Francis is a time traveler, though the where, the how, and the why remain yet to be answered. Number 1. The Line Ghost Train. The last rare thing that the players can do is run with a ghost train as it disappears into the ether. It is one of, if not the only, event that can only be done once. Fans will need to head to the old Greenbank Mill near the border of Lemon and New Hanover. Between 3 a.m. and sunrise, a ghost train will appear on the tracks and come hurtling through. The horse may be initially spooked by it, but will eventually calm down. The ghost train doesn't damage players and disappears almost quickly as arrived. So thank you guys for watching this video. If you enjoyed the video, you can subscribe to my channel, like the video, and comment. And you can also turn on the notification of my channel, and when I upload a new video, you can notice and watch the new videos. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.
Can you see the dark? Can you fix the break?